This has been another presentation of Nine's Wide World of Sports.
Why am I here?
The Footy Show, proudly sponsored by Gillette Sensor and Dunlop.
Beginning Wednesday night, Snowy. Powerful, captivating, entertaining. An all-star cast in one of the most prestigious Australian series ever produced. Enjoy the television premiere of Snowy, Wednesday, 8:30 on 9.
Discover Natureland.
Now the true flavour and goodness of nature comes to you. Fresh from a country garden. Discover Natureland. Natureland caffeine-free fruit and herbal teas that taste refreshing, hot or chilled. Caffeine-free fruit and herbal teas from Natureland. The #1 choice naturally.
Natureland.
This is a conventional engine. It has 2 valves per cylinder, so it needs a highly resilient oil for long-lasting protection. Castrol GTX2. Liquid engineering for your car.
Hurry into 7-Eleven now and start scratching, because there's CDs, Game Boys, Walkmans, concert tickets, holidays, and a Holden Nova still itching to be won in 7-Eleven Scratch It Match It game.
7-Eleven's got it.
On Channel 9 tonight, Glenridge presents Our World. 7:30, 60 Minutes. 8:30, Warren Beatty and Annette Bening star in the premiere of Bugsy.
This program is proudly sponsored by Land Rover.
I'm Andy Griffith. Tonight, my fellow cast members and I are going to take you back to the mythical town of Mayberry that was our home for 8 wonderful years.
This is where we are. Mayberry.
Well, now, that's a dandy little item there. Look at that. Little button that just sticks there and don't fall off.
Mayberry is universal in the lives of a lot of people. I think that was its appeal.
Well, I don't know how many years it ran, but it seemed like I grew up with it.
I love Andy and I love Barney. I loved Floyd the barber.
We got to nip it! Nip it in the bud! Nip it! Let's hear it! Nip it!
Nobody ever made me laugh. Ever. Like Don Knotts.
I remember wanting a piece of Aunt Bee's pie so bad, always.
Banana cream chocolate pie, zucchini casserole, chicken paprikash.
I think my favorite part of the show was the relationship that Andy had with Opie, the father-son relationship, because it always showed how a father could be a leader, show guidance, and also be a friend to his son.
That tune and those 2 happy people strolling along, it's a rural Eden.
The Andy Griffith Show reunion is hosted by the star of the series, Andy Griffith. Andy's special guest stars are Don Knotts, Ron Howard, Jim Neighbors, George Lindsay, and Jack Dodson. ladies and gentlemen, our host, Andy Griffith.
Here we are, over 30 years later, back in Mayberry, North Carolina. Now, you won't find Mayberry on any map of North or South Carolina, because Mayberry was a mythical town, kind of state of mind. Over the years, a lot of people have come to believe that Mayberry is based on my hometown, and it's not, because real towns have real problems that have to be dealt with. All of Mayberry's problems were solved in half an hour. It was a place full of joy, sometimes a lot of laughs, and always a lot of love. The show started on February 15th, 1960, on Danny Thomas's television series. I played Sheriff Andy Taylor and cited Danny for a moving violation.
See, Liz is in town.
Yeah, he's taking a gander at that new discovery. Don't think you'll like it. It's got air conditioning, automatic, power steering. Supposed to be real comfy. He'll be back soon. He'll be back soon. He'll be back in a moment.
What does Toblerone have that the others do not? Is it the honey, the almonds, the mountains of delectable chocolate? Or is it the rich chunks, the chewiness, the smoothness? Or is it simply the irresistible pleasure? Toblerone, it does more for your mouth.
Buy the perfect travel camera before you go overseas at City International Duty Free. The ultra-compact Pentax SPO date. 35 to 70 zoom plus panorama adapter to turn shots like this into shots like this. Plus original Pentax case, plus quartz date. Forget Australian airports, forget Hong Kong, forget Singapore. Just $2.99 duty free. Lowest price in the world, guaranteed. At City International Duty Free. At 185 Swanston Walk, 245 Collins Street, 393 Clayton Road, Clayton. And West End Duty Free, 53 Queen Street, City.
Carpet Call invites you to jump the gun and save. With sales tax and other costs rising, you won't see prices like these again. And what an incredible buy these carpets are. Choose a magnificent plush or a luxurious cut and loop, $14.99 a square meter. Carpet 3 rooms for $749 fully laid, but only if you jump the gun before prices rise.
Carpet Call. It's a great way to save.
Call, Carpet Call.
The experts in the trade.
6:30 tonight on Our World, the evolution of dinosaurs on film. An adventure behind the scenes through the progression of techniques and technology that created the foundations for Jurassic Park. Dinosaur Chronicles premieres 6:30 tonight on 9.
When that show went on the air, I got a phone call, an important phone call. It changed the shape, form, and destiny of our show. It was from an old friend of mine who said, "Don't you need a deputy?" A good idea, very good idea.
You see, Andy, I want the folks in this town to realize that you picked me to be your deputy because you looked over all the candidates for the job, and you judged their qualifications and their character and their ability, and you come to the fair, the just, and the honest conclusion that I was the best suited for the job. And I want to thank you, Cousin Andy.
Well, I'll take care of it right away. Yes, ma'am. Bye. Miss Peterson's Fluffy's on the roof again.
This is a time for pussycats with a killer on the loose.
Well, Fluffy's got kittens, and you know how you feel seeing your mother on the roof.
You can bet on it, Andy. There's a bank robber stalking our streets. It's stakeout time.
Leave the rifle alone.
Oh, now I can't even drive a car. Is that it? You're afraid to ride with me. Is that it?
Forget I mentioned it.
Just in case you're worried, I won't make a move without you. Is everything clear?
Looks all clear to me.
Okay to go?
Give her the gun.
Fine. Andy!
How'd you do it, Barney? How'd you nail him? Did he rush you? Well, say something. Well, what's the matter, Barney?
I swallowed my gum. You ready? Let her rip.
May I introduce the finest comedy actor that I have ever known, and winner of 5 Emmys for his role as Barney Fife, my longtime friend and former deputy sheriff, Mr. Don Knotts.
Yes?
Yes, that's his real first name.
Yeah, that's right. And ever since Andy found out I didn't like that name, he's been calling me that.
Yeah. People used to think that we just showed up and did all that funny stuff off the top of our heads.
Not likely, huh? 10, 12-hour days, more like it. Yeah. And Barney ran around the whole day talking his head off, and Andy just sat there and grinned.
You remember the pickle story?
I sure do. Yeah. One of my favorites.
Mine's
11 minutes, that's not bad. We're on schedule.
One thing people remember about Barney, he was only allowed to have 1 bullet.
Yeah, and I had to keep that one in my pocket. You know, over the years, everyone I run into seems to want to give me a bullet. I bet I've got 1,000 of them.
Your sidearm, please.
Sir?
Your pistol. It is a pistol?
Oh, yes, sir.
There aren't any bullets in this gun.
Oh, well, Barney keeps his bullet in his pocket.
In his pocket?
Mm-hmm.
Well, why don't you put it in the pistol where it belongs?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Case,
Inside, deputy, I'm going to break that leg. No, you ain't. You say? No, you ain't. Now, you drop that rock and you get over here.
No, I wouldn't go anywhere without the old Roscoe. Little persuader. Blue steel baby.
and take that gun out of your mind.
Is that a pretty good camera?
Yeah, why?
Well, it's just that my fast draw has never been successfully photographed. All they've been able to get so far is a sort of a blur.
Here, let me help you. Now, cut that out. I'm going to arrest you. Hey, wait. I'll give you a blink. Wait a minute. Hold it.
Hey, so let me show you what a bullet ought to look like. Now, there's bullet maintenance.
Oh, Barney, that's beautiful. I've heard about your bullet, Barney. Beautiful.
We'll be ready for it.
On A Current Affair, your worst nightmare come true.
They somehow managed to find cavities.
We catch dentists who want a child with near-perfect teeth put to the drill. Are you next?
Virtually forced root canal treatment on me.
Mike Willesee tracks down great train robber Ronald Biggs at his Rio hideaway.
God bless you all in Australia. I love you.
And good news for all Australian women.
It does work.
The revolutionary new treatment for varicose veins.
It's great.
This week on A Current Affair with Mike Willesee.
Here is the freshest, tastiest, juiciest tomato, homegrown in Australia. And from fresh tomatoes like this comes perhaps the finest tomato sauce in the country. It may sound new to you, but MON has been making quality products on the Murray since 1899. MON, the all-natural, original recipe tomato sauce. One of the best value, tastiest tomato sauces in Australia.
Don't miss the ultimate in V8 warfare. The showdown at Sandown when the fabulous forwards and hot holders clash in the Sandown 500 this Sunday. See national champion Glenn Seaton. There's Alan Jones, Dick Johnson, Jeff Brabham, Bow and Waldock aboard their forwards. They tackle the Commodores of Brocky, Wayne Gardner, Skate, Perkins, Mazzara, Crompton and all the stars. 500 blazing Ks and the gloves are off. Come see the best at the best. The Sandown 500 this Sunday with action and traction from 9:40.
Until now, you could only dial these countries off-peak using Optus or Telecom. Now, for the first time, Optus gives you off-peak worldwide. For more information on worldwide off-peak savings, call Optus. So what would you say to off-peak savings worldwide?
I like my fruit real flat. Because a roll-up is a roll-up, no matter what they say. There's nothing like a roll-up at any time of day. Uncle Toby's roll-ups, they're real fruit flat out.
Save up to 75% with Copper Art's Best Buys. Save hundreds of dollars on this superb 51-piece Italian cutlery set, slashed to $199. 20-piece dinner sets are a crazy $24.95. But hurry, only at Copper Art now.
Our first show was called The New Housekeeper, and it was about Aunt Bee coming to live with us. Aunt Bee was played by a wonderful actress, Frances Bovier. She's gone now. But Aunt Bee was a perfect homemaker, gardener, cook. She was the matriarch of our family. In that first show, she established a relationship with Opie so warm and so caring that it became one of the foundations of our series. Ron Howard. We used to call him Ronnie. He was 6 years old when we started the show, and he didn't know how to read yet. His father and mother would teach him his lines. By the time the show was finished, 8 years later, of course, he could read and write, and he had turned into a fine actor. But as you can see from this little sketch, Ronnie was pretty good right from the start.
Well, if it ain't...
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ron Howard. Pretty good sketch, huh?
Well, it was pretty well written, and it's pretty truthful. I mean, as a dad myself now, I can relate to Andy in that situation.
Yeah. That's a sketch that you could get in a lot of trouble. You could fall on your face with that. I mean, the sketch, the father. I was the straight man. You were the kid with all the comedy lines.
Well, it was a little unusual, though, for our show.
Yeah, though we went many different ways. I used to watch you and your father, and the fine, caring relationship that you had and still do. And we would borrow some of that for our show.
Well, I remember him always wanting, wishing that Opie wouldn't be the sort of typical kind of wisecracking kid on a TV show, but would have real respect for his father. Maybe he just didn't want me getting into bad habits on the show that he wouldn't be able to handle at home. I don't know.
Was it your mother that took some home movies?
They both would bring the camera in once in a while, and those are precious home movies to me.
Yeah.
Oh, there we are, joking around. Probably making fun of my mom. She was always carrying that camera around. But I'm glad now she did. There's Jim. Oh, well, see, I just loved going on location because that whole place would become like a playground. Most of the time we filmed on a stage, but the days when we got to go out was always something that I looked forward to. I'd get to ride my skateboard around. There I am playing with a yo-yo. I'd get to ride my bike all over the place and visit some of the other sets. The real McCoy's house was not far from here. Some of the sets from Gone with the Wind were still standing. In between times, I'd get to fool around, practice playing a little baseball. It really was kind of like living in a small town and having the run of that town.
That's wonderful footage to have.
Oh, it sure is. Yeah. Well, we had a lot of fun behind the scenes making the show, and you know what? You and Don were always funny. Just even in the wardrobe or in makeup.
Mostly Don.
Well, you just start making up these bits, and And then you'd hone in on them. Once in a while, they'd show up on the show. Remember the memory bit? Oh, that's a great one.
There's do you think you got it?
I got
it. See, Liz is in town.
Yeah, he's taking a gander at that new discovery. Don't think you'll like it. It's got air conditioning. Automatic. Power steering. Supposed to be real comfy. He'll be back soon. He'll be back soon. He'll be back in a moment.
Meet Eddie Sims. He runs a small business.
Importing.
So, Eddie, what can telecom do for you?
Save me money on international calls, especially Hong Kong.
We're taking care of business every day. Taking care of business every way. We're taking care of business. It's all right. Taking care of business and working overtime.
They listened.
Ring now and save 10% with Telecom's new international flexi plan.
That one and that one?
How may I help you?
I'll try these. That's great. Good colour. Perfect. It's good fabric.
Hard to tell.
They're the ones.
Tuesday, the comedies are on 9. 7:30, guaranteed to bellow one with laughter, Australia's funniest home video show. 8 o'clock, it's the Battle of the Sounds.
They started it.
Bobby versus the Neighbours.
Can you hear church bells?
All together now. 8:30, take a trip with the Bundys.
Oh, and don't pet the dog. He might expect it from us.
Married with Children.
I'm so happy.
Then it's Hale and Bates.
Sorry.
Tuesday night's fun lineup on 9.
I remember talking to a storekeeper one time. He told me that this salesman had come by his place, he's all tired and he's harried. Said the fella sat down and said, "Boy, wish I could go to Mayberry." And that was the feeling that Mayberry conjured up. It was quiet, peaceful, funny, and had been completely bypassed by the reality and difficulty of the outside world.
The last big buy I made was my mom's and dad's anniversary present.
What'd you get them?
Septic tank.
For the anniversary?
Yeah. Well, they're really hard to buy for. Besides, it was something they could use. I was really thrilled. 2 tons of concrete, all steel reinforced.
You're a fine son, Mark.
Try.
I just looked at the thermometer over the door. You know what it is?
92?
92. It's like an oven inside. Hot? Oh, it is hot.
Well, as Mark Twain said, everybody complains about the weather, but nobody does anything about it.
He say that?
Mm-hmm.
I thought Calvin Coolidge said that.
No, Floyd, Calvin Coolidge didn't say that.
What'd Calvin Coolidge say?
I don't know.
You sure Mark Twain didn't get that from Calvin Coolidge?
No, Floyd. Mark Twain lived before Calvin Coolidge.
Oh, he couldn't have got him from no.
You know, you never know when something good's going to come your way. I got forced into going to a nightclub one time out in California to see this fella work. I didn't want to go, but there I was in the audience, and he was working. And me and the rest of that audience were going crazy. I saw him out on the sidewalk afterwards, and I said, "I don't know what you do, but whatever it is, you do it very well." And a little later, a part came up on our show. He read for it, and I'd like you to meet Mayberry's finest gas station attendant, Gomer Pyle, Mr. Jim Neighbors.
Hey, Andy.
You were good and you are good.
Oh, thanks. You know, I really enjoyed playing Gomer because
He was a real naive character, or as Don used to say, naive. But
yeah.
Very first episode that I did was Man in a Hurry, which always meant a lot to me because I had never acted before. And when I first read for the part, they thought my accent was a little exaggerated, I remember. And you said, well, heck, said Aaron, says, a lot of old boys down home talk like that. But I always enjoyed doing that, really did.
No, we got to get some guy that's not been around too much. You know, really naive. Some guy with not too much upstairs.
Yeah.
In other words, a real dope.
Hey, Andy. Hey, Barney.
Say you ain't had any luck finding a job, huh?
No, but I'm going over to the market now. They're advertising for an experienced butcher.
You know anything about cutting meat?
You think they'll ask me that? Stop, Barney, stop.
And that's how come the bucket.
Uh-huh. Sergeant said I wasn't thinking, so he clamped this thing on my head and said it'd help me to think. And you know something? He's right. I've been sitting there with this bucket on my head and just thinking and thinking and thinking.
What were you thinking about, Gomer?
How easy it is to think under there. You gonna try it?
No, thanks.
Go on, put it on and take a think under there.
I did take a think under there. Talking about Gomer being Mayberry's finest gas station attendant. Say hello to Mayberry's other finest gas station attendant, Goober, Pyle, George Menzies.
Hey, Andy.
Hey, Goober.
Well, I tell you, I had a hard time playing Goober after Jim played Gomer so well, and I finally got it when I realized that Goober had the potential to be almost nearly smart. And he likes salt.
You like salt?
Yeah. I came to you the first week I was on the show, and I said, tell me about Goober, you know, characterization. You said, well, he's the kind of guy that would go into a restaurant and say, hey, this is great salt. That don't take much, does it?
But he was very talented.
Oh, yeah.
Goober G. Robinson.
Ain't he got talent? Goober, you really got talent.
Yeah, Goober, you really got talent. Listen, Gomer.
I have a hard time keeping up with all these talented individuals. Goober could take a car apart
and put it back together.
And Gomer was a dancing fool. He could jitterbug all night long.
Yeah, and Barney could sing like an angel.
Tuesday, things are getting steamy.
You're so lucky you're married.
Partners are getting hot.
Don't say anything. Just shut up.
Join them through their tough times.
I am really starting to dislike this guy.
And share the good ones.
How come you don't want to talk about what happened?
Sirens, Tuesday, 9:30 on 9.
Have you seen the latest at Speeds? Have you seen the prices? This week, the latest platform and dress shoes from Paragini are just $39. And so are the very latest new season imported leather trainers and casuals. Just arrived, men's Aero Sports and kids and youth Timberwolf hikers are $20. And top-selling leather boots by Picasso, Timberwolf and Windsor Smith are just $59. Have you seen the latest at Speeds? Have you seen the prices? You can't beat Speeds.
When you've got a heavy load to haul, you need one hell of a wheelbarrow. Kelso wheelbarrows are built strong like trucks. And with a Kelso, you're always in control, especially when the going gets tough. Nothing carries a big load better than a Kelso. Anything less just won't last the distance.
Here's another load, darling.
Oh, great. Hey, do you like the fuchsia?
Yeah, they look terrific.
Can you pass me
Kelsos, built stronger to last longer.
Another Quality Hills product.
Have you ever wondered why some people have more get-up-and-go than others? It may be that some of them have discovered the pleasures of Nestle malted milk. The perfect pick-me-up.
We Victorians don't have to look far to see the difference Optus has made. Long-distance prices have fallen and service has improved. But there are other reasons why Optus has benefited all Victorians. Through new jobs, through training schemes, and through Victoria sharing in an Australia-wide investment of $6 billion by 1997. So why not use Optus? You know that all you have to do is just say the word.
Have you rung in and registered for Australia's biggest ever home viewer competition?
It's all happening on the South.
You could be a winner with Glenridge and
Denise Drysdale.
Maya presents Sale of the Century.
I don't know, I feel a bit nervous.
7 o'clock Monday on 9.
Howard McNear never said his lines the same way twice. He made the character of Floyd Lawson, Mayberry's barber, so real that sometimes I'd have to catch myself, because if I hadn't, I would have just stopped to watch him work. He was a wonderful man and a very funny man, and we all miss him.
A man doesn't become a barber overnight. It's work, training, work.
I'm sure it is. I'm sorry.
You just can't walk in off the street and be a barber.
No, I'm sorry.
It's okay. And beside that, you have to have a license.
Floyd's been barbering folks around here since most of us was just young'uns.
Really?
Yeah.
I always did want to be a barber. Even when I was a little tiny kid, I used to practice on cats. Cats? Yeah, I'd catch them in the alley, then I'd clip them and everything. Oh? We had the baldest cats in the county.
Boy, oh boy. Just once, I'd like to have them sideburns come out even.
What are you talking about? Wait a minute. Now look at that. Eh? 1 inch from the lobe.
What's the matter with you? One of them sideburns is short.
Well, maybe that's because one of your lobes is longer than the other. There we go, Sheriff.
Lord.
What's the matter?
My sideburn.
Sideburn? What's the matter with sideburn?
Why, they're both even.
They're both even. Well, what a minute. Well, I'll be dogged. How'd that happen? Love just happens. Two people just fall together.
What do you know about love?
What do I know? About love? You can't cut hair for 30 years without learning something.
The Darling clan. They were a wild bunch of mountain folk who lived in the hills outside Mayberry.
Pass the bread to the boys.
Okay, Bob.
Okay, have some pickles. Thank you. I'll have a little tomato here. Oh, a little salt here. Bread!
What happened?
Mr. Darling put in a request for additional bread, ain't be?
Oh, didn't I yell loud enough?
Oh, you must be big eaters.
Oh, we're no, there's a family of hearty-eating men and beautiful, delicate women.
Come on.
Charlene, I'm old enough to be your father.
You've sure been beautiful preserved. All I want to do is hold you just once to my arm.
I couldn't do that.
I won't tell your aunt.
Charlene, you owe something to that boy that's been in the service for 3 years.
Send him a fruitcake. Huggy, huggy.
No.
Yeah, mind if I play along with you?
I didn't know you sprang.
A little. What key?
Just jump in where you can and hang on. Come on. Come on. Shoot.
Darlings loved the sound of music almost as much as Ernest T. Bass loved the sound of breaking glass.
You know who's back in town, don't you? What's that?
Ernest T. Bass, you come in here.
Howdy do to you and you. It's me, it's Ernest T.
All that ride, jump in the fire, fire too hot, jump in the pot, pot too black, jump in the crack, crack too high, jump in the sky, sky too blue, jump in canoe, canoe too shallow, jump in the tallow, tallow too soft, jump in the loft, loft too rotten, jump in the cotton, cotton gotten so white she stayed there all night.
Well, Mr. Bass, you have all of your teeth. Where were you planning to put the gold one?
Oh, right here in front. See these three here? I was gonna knock them out. Put the gold one right in the center, leaving space on each side. That'd stand out better that way. Especially when I'm dancing. See how perfect? I show my teeth out when I'm dancing.
Howie Mars.
Funny.
Yeah. I think that might have been his favorite character.
He directed some of the shows later,
Directed
too.
a lot of them. He's a good director. Yeah. And that's, again, where Mayberry actually came from. Mayberry came from the imaginations of a lot of very inventive people, writers, directors, you, your father, your mother.
Well, I remember wanting to be a part of that, you know, and I once in a while, even as a little kid, I was 6 in the first season when we were doing the show, I'd throw out an idea every once in a while and it would sort of get dismissed, and I'd notice that they weren't taking my idea, you know, and I actually remember the first time that an idea got accepted. It was in our 2nd season, and we were doing a scene in the jail, and I was supposed to make an entrance and say something, and I remember stopping and saying, you know, I don't think a kid would say that line that way. And Bob Sweeney kind of looked at me. He was directing that episode and said, well, how would a kid say it? And I tried it another way, and he said, okay, well, do it that way. And started to rehearse the scene again, and I was just kind of standing there grinning. And you said, Ronnie, what's the matter? And I said, well, that's the first idea of mine that anybody ever accepted. And you said, well, that's the first idea that was any darn good. Now let's do the scene. Well, you created an environment, you know, as the head of the show, an environment that really encouraged people to bring their ideas with them to work, you know, and boy, when somebody would come up with a good idea, you'd laugh so hard you'd be crying. I mean, it was a very collaborative place.
It wasn't only me. It was Sheldon Leonard who created our show, and Aaron Rubin who produced it.
The tolerance, the patience, the common sense, all of those qualities were the qualities that make for a perfect father. Just as Opie ultimately made for the perfect son. And the relationship between father and son was the most important ingredient in the show for me.
When people say, what's your favorite show? You know, I did 150 myself, 5 years. We did 30 in those days, 30 a season. And one I remember in particular was one in which Opie accidentally kills a bird, a mother bird, with his slingshot. It was a
Returning Monday. A brand new series of unshakable courage, selfless determination, and outstanding valor.
It was something that had to be done.
Someone's life is on the line. Rescue 911 returns Monday, 5:30 on Channel 9.
From the people who brought you... and especially... comes the limited edition Audi 80 Sport. German engineering, ABS equipped, and with $3,200 worth of sports extras at no extra cost. At this price, it will go very fast. The limited edition Audi 80 Sport. At your Audi dealer right now.
But hurry, stocks are limited.
My fruit real flat. Because a roll-up is a roll-up. No matter what they say, there's nothing like a roll-up at any time of day. Uncle Toby's roll-ups. They're real fruit flat out.
Save up to 60% with Copper Art's Best Buys. Save $70 on dressing tables. Fashion mirrors are only $42.95, and queen-size patchwork quilts are a crazy $159. Single bed, $99. But hurry, only at Copper Art now.
Mayberry was a town filled with wonderfully colorful characters. One of them was Howard Sprague, the county clerk, played by Jack Dodson.
Yeah, Howard was kind of strange, but once he cut those apron strings and got out from under his mother's thumb, joined the lodge, went fishing with the guys, he became a regular fella and sort of fit right in. Here are some of the other wonderful characters who lived in Mayberry. Anita Corso as Helen Crump. Betty Lynn as Thelma Lou. Hal Smith as Otis Campbell. Hope Summers as Clara Edwards. Dick Elliott as Mayor Pike. Clint Howard as Leon. Parley Bear as Mayor Roy Stone. Cheerio Meredith as Emma Watson. Jack Burns as Warren Ferguson. And Paul Hartman as Emmett Clark.
When we started making the old Griffith show, all we wanted to do was make it as good as possible. And I guess we must have done something right. The show has never been off the air for over 30 years. Again, you won't find our town of Mayberry on a map, but it has found a place in our hearts and minds and memories. You have made that so, and for that, I thank you. We'll say goodnight, and this is the way we'd like to do it.
Mayberry Union High, victory is yours, well nigh. We'll hit the line for points every time. The orange and blue will try. And when the victory's won, you'll be our favorite son. Proud waves your banner in the sky. Mayberry Union High.
Next on 9, the wackiest chip in the army, followed by our Wide World of Sports telecast of the Rugby League Minor Preliminary Semi-Final, live from the Sydney Football Stadium.
Viacom. This program was proudly sponsored by Land Rover.
Tonight on 60 Minutes, Tracy Curo's first assignment.
This could hardly be a more awkward salvage job.
The story behind the headlines.
It's been hit on the head. Thrown in.
The Nazi sub fleeing Germany.
50 men were crammed inside here.
And sunk by Aussie airmen. Now the search for looted treasures. Also, Superfit Sue, Melbourne's aerobics champion, takes on the world. Toyota presents 60 Minutes, 7:30 tonight.
This program is proudly sponsored by BP. On the move.
December 7th, 1941. The day that was to live in infamy. The United States Pacific Fleet, pride of a mighty nation, decimated by surprise attack. And then, out of chaos, disorder, and despair, the supreme effort. Brisbane, Australia. The responsibilities of first-line command were assumed by a meager reserve of officers. One of these, Major Simon Butcher, 22 years in the regular army. Linguist, weapons expert, guerrilla fighter. Temporarily assigned to naval intelligence. And others, unproven, the first of thousands soon to follow. One of these, Lieutenant Junior Grade Richard P. Riddle, under orders to report to the naval base at Brisbane, Australia, and to there assume command of the United States ship of the line, Kiwi. In the hands of men like these rested the future of a nation.
There's the Kiwi, sir! But that's the Yorktown. Yes, sir, the Kiwi's just astern. Take me back. Sir? I said take me back. Yes, sir.
I think the ship is made to order for what we need, sir.
Sir, I'm
Would
trying
seem
to
so.
be as cooperative as
my...
possible, but I am merely asking the right to exercise my prerogative as a naval officer and refuse command of a ship offered to me under these circumstances, sir.
Might need a little overhauling, but
My
once
orders
we get in
read
shape,
that
I think
shall
it'll be
assume command of
ideal.
the United States ship of the line, sir.
The only thing
I
is,
fail to see how, by any stretch of the imagination, a leaking, two-masted schooner can constitute a vessel so designated in my orders.
I don't think this kid's the right man for the job.
Begging your pardon, Major, but I don't think you're qualified to make that evaluation.
Hold on, Lieutenant. You know, I'm not too overjoyed about being on this caper with you either.
Well, there's nothing personal in my request, Major. And I have no particular interest in what it is you think you need for the ship.
Well, I don't care what your interest happened to be. First of all, we were ordered by...
That's enough. What do you think this is, an Army-Navy basketball game? Now, this particular assignment can very well dictate the success or failure of the entire campaign in the South Pacific. We have to know what's going on in any and all of those island chains. Aircraft disbursement, troop deployment, fleet movement. We have to know it all.
Now, we don't want any more surprises. Now, the operation will be called Coast Watch. Now, it'll be Kiwi's job to carry our radio combat teams up there and also to get them out whenever possible. Now, I don't think you'll have much trouble. The Japanese aren't likely to bother an innocent, unarmed trading schooner.
Unarmed?
Pointless to carry heavy guns, Riddle. You wouldn't stand a chance in a toe-to-toe naval engagement. You see that, don't you, son?
Yes, sir.
Your real security depends on keeping your true identity a secret. Sneak in, sneak out.
You have 1 week to get combat fit. And most important of all, you two better learn to get along together. You will show Major Butcher the respect due a ranking officer at all times.
Yes, sir.
And let's not throw those gold leaves around indiscriminately. Remember that?
Yes, sir. And also remember that the captain of a naval vessel is always in supreme command.
Except when you're ashore. Dismissed.
At BP, our fuels are tested, refined, proven, and guaranteed. So by the time they get to you, we guarantee no fuel system problems. Ask for details about the BP fuel guarantee at your local station. BP, on the move.
Some beds do this, some beds do that. Some beds bounce, but they don't bounce back. But of all the beds that you might try, there's only one bed you should buy.
Sealy Posturepedic, the bed designed in cooperation with leading orthopedic surgeons, gives maximum comfort and support year after year. If you want to wake up on top of the world, wake up on top of a Sealy Posturepedic.
Okay, the fight for quality music at the right price is on, and...
It's the first time these world titles have been at this price. Count out these great hits.
1.
John Farnham.
2.
Elvis Presley.
3.
Bobby Brown.
4.
Aerosmith.
5.
Cher.
6.
Neil Diamond.
7.
Southern Sons.
8.
Taylor Dane.
9.
Transvision Vamp.
10.
John Denver. The right price will floor you every time with quality music at a knockout price. $14.95. They're all in the bin and...
They're out!
Now!
The Sunshine State.
Yo,
Queensland.
way to go.
You can talk to the animals, swim with the fish, or simply soak up the sun on one of 7 beautiful beaches when you holiday on balmy Brampton Island for this great Queensland price.
Beautiful one day, perfect for days.
Contact your travel agent or your Queensland Government Travel Centre.
Tuesday at 9, watch out for the hilarious antics of Hale and Pace.
I'm so happy.